Hi guys, welcome back, and we're now going to carry on and pretty much complete the whole key, okay? So we've got A and B still to do, okay? So let's get down to them now, and what we're going to do is we're going to do A in the same fashion we worked out the G, and B we're going to do in the old way, okay? So let's have a look at this, okay? If we're going to do it in the same fashion, we know that imagine A is the start, A is the kickoff. We're going to jump and miss one to get the third, so 1 to 3, so A to C, and then from C we're going to jump again, miss another one, and get to the E. Because if you consider A as your first, then we've got 1, 3, 3, 5. Okay, so that's how we know we've got the right 3 notes to build the triad. All we've got to suss out is A, C, and E. What chord is that? Is that an A major? Is that an A minor? Or is that an A diminished? And we're going to do that using the lovely guitar. So let's give this a go, shall we? Let's bring it up to the A. Let's start the A on the 12th fret of the A string. Okay, now we've got to find a C now. Okay, so I'm going to do the C. So if you imagine there's a C on the 8th fret of the E string, I go an octave above that, and I've got the C on the 10th fret of the D string. So I'm going to put those two together, A and C. So straight away I'm kind of thinking, well, this is a bit more of a minor sound maybe than a major. Let's see what happens when I put the 5th in. So the 5th is E. Okay, so the E is the next note we've got to find, and there's an E here. I'm going to jump up an octave of that E and pop that one in alongside it. Okay, so what does that sound like to you? Hopefully you can sit there and go, I know that sounds not like a major. That's definitely not major. Because it's not bright enough, is it? Major would be this. Minor, bit sadder, isn't it? But it's still listenable, you know, it's still a nice sounding chord, it's just a sadder chord. And that's why we know it's not a diminished chord, because the diminished chord is quite hard to listen to. Okay, so from ears and from doing this onto the guitar, we've worked out that this chord, the 6th chord along, is going to be a minor chord. Okay, so hopefully you're with me on that, guys. Let's pop that in as an M-I-N, minor. Now, let's do the 7th, because of course we know the C is exactly the same as the first, so we know at the end there it's going to be back to the major again, so we can put that in. So the B is the final piece of the puzzle, right? So let's do B in the same way we did the earlier ones, okay? So let's pop the B major scale down here first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, and it's going to be B. And then can we do a tone up from B? That's going to be a C sharp, isn't it? Okay. Then a tone up is D sharp, semitone is E, tone up is F sharp, tone to G sharp, tone to A sharp, and then back to B. Okay, so there you have it. B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B. B's got a lot of sharps, okay? So that's tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Now, we've got to work out a B major chord, a B minor chord, a B diminished chord, and see what fits, okay? So let's start with the B major, shall we? We'll do this one by one. So we need to find the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th from our B major scale, which is going to be a B, a D sharp, and an F sharp, okay? The 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th, okay? Now, that quite clearly is not going to work. So this B is definitely not going to be a B major, because D sharp doesn't fit, F sharp doesn't fit. So let's look at B minor. Now for B minor we find a 1st, a flat 3rd, and a 5th. Okay, so we're going to have a B, flatten the D sharp gives you a D. So that's good, that's excellent, we want that. But F sharp is still F sharp. So even though the D is now better, we can't fit that in because the F sharp's wrong. Okay, so B diminished, could this be the time when the B diminished has its day? Flat 3rd, flat 5, we get a B, a D because we flatten the 3rd, and then flatten F sharp gives us an F. Yes, we've got it. B, B, D, and F all fit in there. So finally, this chord here on the end, this 7, is going to be a diminished chord. Okay, so we've now got an entire scale converted into chords, and you call this technique harmonizing. Okay, we've harmonized our scale using notes of the scale to create the key. okay? We've got a major, a minor, a minor, a major, a major, a minor, a diminished, and a major, okay? And that is perfect because they are now all the notes that we need to say confidently, in the key of C major, I can play all of these chords. I could play a C major chord, an E minor chord, a G major chord, an F major chord. I can play them in any order, and we're going to stick to one key. So what I would highly recommend, guys, is learning this, okay? So before we talk any more about the key and what we can do with it, you need to now learn this fully harmonized key, okay? And so I'd go away, get a piece of paper out, and try and do this again on a different scale, okay? So take the scale of D major instead, okay? And see if you can go through the exact process I just went through and we just went through across every single note using this or using the notes on the neck and using your ears to do exactly the same thing. The only way you're going to really remember this stuff and understand this stuff is by forcing your own brain to do it for yourself. Believe me, when I was studying this stuff at university, then I would often have to go to the paper over and over and over again, doing this for myself until it really lodged itself in. So try it on D major, try it on E major, as many keys as you want to try. And next time we're going to talk about how to take this and run with it. So make sure that we never have to do that epic process again. But the only way I think it's going to work in the long term is that you understand really thoroughly how we did it right now. And that's why I'm asking you to deliberately do this long process now so that you understand it.